Chinese authorities have now imposed export controls on rare earth elements and magnets that are needed in a range of manufacturing activities, from semiconductor fabrication units to defense equipment. This has been one of the salvos in the trade war between the two countries, but the export restrictions apply to any Chinese refinery that can export refined rare earth minerals outside China. But could these export restrictions be an opportunity for India? Is India really well equipped to capitalize on this opportunity? To discuss exactly this, we now have Mr. G. Chandrashekhar, independent commodity expert, now joining us. Mr. Chandrashekhar, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. And first things first, China has hit back and they have retaliated against tariffs that have been imposed by the US, and one of those restrictions are on rare earth and critical minerals which are being exported by China to the US. Those rare earth minerals have a whole host of applications in defense, energy and automotive technologies. How do you read this development and what does this mean for global economies?
China is a dominant producer and exporter of several rare earths and critical minerals, and these are all used in high-tech applications. And the US has imposed tariffs on China, and in retaliation to that sharp increase in the US tariffs, China has done three things. Okay, one, they have suspended export of certain rare earth minerals and magnets. And these rare earth metals, minerals, and magnets are very crucial for the world's car industry, semiconductor industry, and aerospace industry. Second, these metals now cannot be shipped out of China except with an export license. And Beijing has not set up any system for issue of export license, which means in the short run, supplies of these many critical minerals and metals out of China are going to run very, very low, which is going to impact many of the high-tech industries around the world, particularly, of course, in the US. The second non-tariff barrier which China has imposed is that it has expanded its list of controls, export controls. There are restrictions on critical minerals, as I said earlier, like tungsten, molybdenum, bismuth, indium, etc. Now, exporters have to obtain a license from the Chinese Commerce Ministry. This process of license, there is no system established as such, and therefore it can disrupt the supply chain, particularly of the US companies that rely on these materials. And the third one, China has cited national security concerns and has added a few US companies to the unreliable entity list.
Understood. We get that point. So several export restrictions have been imposed by China on United States. But what kind of opportunity do these restrictions on rare earth and critical minerals pose for India? And help us understand, do we really have the ability to make up for the loss that China has, to make up for the gap that China has created?
I believe India certainly has opportunities in this space. Provide about 30 metals and minerals as critical for our own application internally and of course for the world market, and they're all for the high-tech industry. The US has its own list of critical minerals and metals that the US needs. So there is an overlap between Indian list and the US list, and which is where there is an export opportunity for India. We need to tap our resources for producing more of these critical minerals and metals, and we should be able to export to the US. We may not be able to fully satisfy the US demand for these rare metals and minerals because China has suspended it. Yet we can maximize our export and in fact further cement our trade relationship with the United States. There are several critical minerals that we produce. I can give you a list of these minerals if you want.
Understood. We get that point. And since you're saying that India has the opportunity to do that, which rare earth and critical minerals does India have versus, say, China? And what is the quantum of those rare earth minerals? Can India really extract and start exporting these minerals to the US to capitalize on this opportunity?
Absolutely. For example, first one is bauxite. Okay, bauxite is the ore which helps us to produce alumina, which helps us to produce aluminium. And for the US, aluminium is a critical mineral, is a critical material for energy because it is used in various sectors, including solar energy and lightweighting of vehicles. Many of the vehicles use copper. And there is an increasing tendency to replace copper with aluminium, which makes vehicles much lighter. So it's called lightweighting. So the lightweighting of vehicles, and of course for the solar energy technology, a lot of bauxite is used, aluminium is used. The second one is chromite. We are a fairly large producer of chromite, and chromium, which is derived from chromite, is essential for producing stainless steel and other alloys. And these alloys are crucial for industrial and defense application. The third one is copper. We have very rich copper reserves, although we have not tapped all those copper reserves fully. And this metal is increasingly important, again, for clean energy technology, energy storage, electronics, etc. The United States lists copper as a critical mineral for energy. Okay? And then you have graphite. We are among the top producers. This is again important for lithium-ion batteries used in electric vehicles and energy storage. Then we have manganese, we have titanium, we have mica. I mean, all these are critical minerals which have very wide industrial application, high-tech application, and we are in a position, we have rich reserves, we are in a position to mine, produce, and export to the United States.
Understood. And since you are saying that India can actually mine and produce and export these rare earth minerals, does India already have the technology that is required to mine? And how much time will it actually take to mine and produce and export? What is the gestation period to actually capitalize on this opportunity?
I agree. There is always a certain lag. It's called a gestation period. From the time you decide to invest, you start mining, the actual production may take 2 or 3 years or even 4 years, depending on the richness of the reserves. Yeah, what is important is all these minerals that we talked about, several of them have a very good application in high-tech industries. Even if we were to start excavating, mining, processing and exporting, and let it even take 2 or 3 years, it doesn't matter. The demand for these minerals will continue to grow over the next 10, 15, 20 years because of energy transition and several other developments that the world market is facing. And therefore, I think we shouldn't be wasting time. We should imagine and we should assume that this trade war between the US and China is a godsend opportunity for India. Therefore, we should be investing in mining and processing and export. It will take time, but we have to start at some stage. And I think this now is the time for India to start. We have our own list of 30 critical minerals like lithium, cobalt, gallium, copper, tin, nickel, silicon, phosphorus, potash. I think we need all this. We should invest in all this production of these, and we should also explore the export market, particularly with the United States.
Now is the time for India to start mining, and India has the opportunity. That's the word coming in. Mr. Chandrashekhar, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and helping us decode what kind of opportunities does India have in the global mining market. But shifting focus to our next segment, Did You Know? And today we will put the spotlight on petroleum products.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.